Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this cornucopia here that I made. I already got it filled with decorations and stuff. But it's actually really easy. This is what it kind of looks like from the other side. Now in the end, when you finish, you're going to notice that it kind of lays flat. And I said that if you wanted to spray it with fabric stiffener, that you could, you know, to stiffen it up. What I did is kind of stuff the back with yarn, and then I filled it with some pumpkins and some flowers and stuff. Now, I was going to spray mine with fabric stiffener, but once I got it stuffed, it really stands on its own, so there really may not be no need for it. That's something that you can determine in the end if you want to do that. But this is what mine looks like when it's all stuffed. Now, remember, when it's not stuffed, it lays pretty flat, but stuffing it really holds it together. Like I said, I stuffed it about half full of yarn, just yarn scraps or whatever, and then I put a bunch of pumpkins and gourds and some flowers and stuff in it for decorations, and it makes a nice little table piece. It's really nice. It turned out good, I think. That's what it looks like. So it's actually really easy. So let's go ahead and get started on it. Okay, for this project I'm using Redheart, just regular Redheart Super Saver. It's just a medium weight 100% 4-ply acrylic, and you can use any type of 4-ply yarn that you have. You don't have to use this brand. The color I'm using is Buff, and then I actually grabbed Walmart's new Mainstay brand. I thought I was grabbing Super Saver because they were right by each other, but they're almost identical. So it's just a medium weight 4-ply also, and the color I'm using in this is, I don't see it. You guys probably see it. Oh, Taupe Heather. I thought I was grabbing Cafe Latte. I don't know, but I was in a hurry. But either one of these brands or the mix of the brands is fine, or any other type of 4-ply yarn that you have. And then I'm going to be using a N, which is a 9mm crochet hook. Now I'm going to be working with 2 strands at the same time, one of each color, just to give it a little bit of a different look, I guess. Depth or dimension or something, I guess. So you want to start with a slip knot on your hook with both pieces of yarn, and then we're going to work a chain of 3. There's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to slip stitch back into the first stitch to form a ring. Now you can use the magic circle here if you'd like. I always kind of put my finger there, that way I don't lose my ring, it don't go shut. Okay, and now I'm going to chain 1. Now I'm going to work 6 single crochets through the ring. So I'm going to go right through, and I'm going to single crochet 6 times. So there's 1. Make sure you're grabbing both loops, or both pieces of yarn when you grab your loop. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to pull my tails, and that should make that circle a little smaller, and later on we can sew it together and close it up all the way. So we're going to be working in rounds, so you're going to need a stitch marker, and I am just going to use a piece of yarn for my stitch marker. So I'm going to place it right here in between where I just stopped and where I begin over here. So now what I'm going to do, I have 6 single crochets now. I'm going to jump over to the first single crochet, and I'm going to put 1 single crochet into it. Like that. And now the next single crochet, I'm going to put 2 single crochets in it. And then the next single crochet will be 1 single crochet. And then the next single crochet, I'm going to put 2 single crochets. And then the next single crochet will be 1 single crochet. And then the next single crochet will be 2 single crochets. And then you'll be back at your stitch marker. So go ahead and put 2 into that last one. like that. And now you should have 9 single crochets around. So what we're going to do, that was for round 2. For round 3, we're going to pull up our stitch marker. And we're going to go around again. This time we're just going to put 1 single crochet in every single stitch. So we're not going to increase this time. Just 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker. It's not the easiest working with 2 strands, but you'll get the hang of it. Okay, and then when you make it back around to your stitch marker at the end of round 3, you still should have 9 single crochets. And there you can see the point of the cornucopia starting to form. Now we're going to move our stitch marker up forward and start round 4. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. 1 single crochet into the next, 1 single crochet into the next, and then 2 single crochets into the next. And you just want to repeat that till you get to your stitch marker. So you'll probably be able to repeat that one more time. So 1 single crochet into the next, 1 single crochet into the next, and then 2 single crochets into the last, like that. And now you should have a total of 12 single crochets on round 4 once you get back to your stitch marker. Now what I'm going to do is pull my stitch marker out, move it up. Now for round 5, I'm just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. Okay, when you make it back to your stitch marker, you should still have 12 single crochet at the end of round 5. So now we're going to move our stitch marker up. I'm going to tuck them tails in. They're starting to get in my way. There we go. Now I'm going to start round 6 again. I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the first stitch. 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next. So it's kind of a repeat what we did in round 4, I guess. 1 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next. 1 into the next, 1 into the next, and then 2 into the next. One into the next, 1 into the next, and then 2 into your last. And now you should have a total of 16 stitches now at the end of round 6. Let me count mine. 16. Okay. Now to start round 7, I'm going to move my stitch marker up. And now I'm just going to put one single crochet in every stitch all the way around for round 7. So one single in every stitch until you get back to the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back at the beginning. And you still should have 16 stitches when you make it back to your stitch marker. Okay, once you make it back around at the end of round 7, you have your 16 stitches. Just go ahead and move your stitch marker up. Now this time we're going to put one single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 1, 1, and then we'll put 2 single crochets into the next. So go ahead and start off and put one single crochet into the first stitch, and one single crochet into the second stitch, one single crochet into the third stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And that's what we're going to repeat this time around on round 8. This is what we're working on round 8. One single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 single crochets into the next. One single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and 2 single crochets into the next. And you should be able to repeat that one more time before you get to your stitch marker. So one single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in your last stitch. And now you should have, at the end of round 8, a total of 20 stitches. So now what we're going to do for round 9 is we're going to pull our stitch marker up, move it up, and now we're just going to work one single crochet in every stitch around. Just one in every stitch for round 9, and when you get back around you still should have 20 single crochets. Okay, once you make it to the end of round 9 and you have your 20 single crochets, go ahead and move your marker up. Now this time we're going to put one single crochet into the next 9 stitches. So we're not going to increase that much this time. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then we'll put 2 single crochets into the next stitch, into the 10th stitch there. Now you should be able to repeat that one more time. So one single crochet in the next 9 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then 2 single crochets into your last stitch before the stitch marker. And now you should have a total of 22 stitches at the end of round 10. So we only increased by 2 stitches that round. And now we're going to pull our stitch marker up, and now we're going to work one single crochet in every stitch around back to the beginning for round 11. So when we get back around, after working one single crochet in every stitch, we still should have 22 single crochet. Okay, when you make it back around at the end of round 11 and you have your 22 single crochets. What we're going to do is just move our marker up, and we're going to do an increase round again, but we're not going to increase that much again. So what we're going to do is 1 single crochet into the next 10 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then 2 single crochets into the next. So there's 1 and there's 2. Now you should be able to repeat that round one more time, that repeat one more time before we get back to the stitch marker. So 1 single crochet into the next 10 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 2 single crochets into your last stitch. So now you should have a total of 24 stitches at the end of round 12. So we're going to pull our stitch marker up. Round 13, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in every single stitch all the way around back to the beginning. And when you get back to the beginning, you still should have 24 single crochets. Once you make it back around, at the end of round 13, you want to go ahead and move your stitch marker up. And we'll start on round 14. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put 1 single crochet in the first 5 stitches, and then it'll be 2 single crochet in the 6th one. So 1 single crochet in the first 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 2 single crochets into the next. And that's the repeat now. 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 single crochets into the next. Now you want to repeat this until you get back to your stitch marker. 1 single crochet into the next 5, two single crochets into the next. And you should be able to repeat that one more time before you get to your stitch marker. 1 single crochet into the next 5, and then 2 single crochets into your last stitch. And now at the end of round 14, you should have 28 single crochets. Now what you want to do is move your stitch marker up, and now for round 15, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. And when you get back to the beginning, you should have a total of 28 single crochets still. So round 15, 1 single crochet in every stitch until you get to your stitch marker. Okay, once you make it back around at the end of round 15 and you got your 28 single crochets, what we're going to do for round 16, move our stitch marker up, and we're just going to repeat round 15 again. So we're just going to go along and we're going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch again. So we just did 2 rows. This will be our second row of 1 single crochet in every stitch. And when you get back to the beginning, you still should have your 28 single crochets. Okay, once you come to the end around 16 and you got your 28 single crochets, just go ahead and move your marker up. And now what we're going to do on round 17 is we're going to do some increases again. So we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to put 2 single crochets into the next. So that's a repeat what we're going to do this time around. 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 single crochets into the next. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around for round 17. 1 single crochet into the next 6, and then 2 single crochet into the next. And when you get back around, you should have a total of 32 stitches. Okay, once you make it back around at the end of round 17 and you have 32 stitches, go ahead and pull your stitch marker up. Now for rounds 18 and 19, it's just going to be 1 single crochet in every stitch. So 2 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch. And at the end of each round, you will have 32 single crochets. So go ahead and work this round 18, 1 single crochet in every stitch. You'll have 32 stitches, and then move your stitch marker up and work round 19 the very same way, 1 single crochet in every stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, once you make it to the end of round 19, and you got your 32 stitches, we're going to move our stitch marker up. And now we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 single crochets into the next. And that's the repeat. 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 single crochets into the next. So go ahead and repeat that until you get to your stitch marker. And when you make it back to your stitch marker, you should have a total of 36 stitches at the end of round 20. Okay, when you make it to the end of round 20 and you got your 36 stitches, go ahead and move your marker up. And now for round 21, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch. So now it's just 1 round of 1 single crochet in every stitch. This is round 21. And when you get back to the beginning, you still should have 36 single crochets. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 22, and I have my end of round 21, and I have my 36 stitches. I'm going to move my marker up. Now for round 22, I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the first 5 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to put 2 single crochets right here in the next one. And that's the repeat for this round. 1 single crochet into the next 5 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 2 single crochets into the next. And you want to repeat that all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker. And when you get back to your stitch marker, you should have a total of 42 single crochets now at the end of round 22. Okay, once you make it back around to the end of round, at the end of round 22, you have 42 single crochets. Go ahead and move your stitch marker up. And now for round 23, we're just going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So when you get back around, you should have a total of 42 single crochets still. And just to let you know, I did mess up the last round and I had to frog almost the whole entire thing. So don't get discouraged if you mess up. I don't. I just keep on going and I learn from it. But anyways, you should have 42 single crochets now when you get back around to your stitch marker at the end of round 23. Okay, once you make it back around at the end of round 23 and you have 42 stitches, round 24, we are going to do 1 single crochet into the first 6 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. And now that is the repeat for this round. 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then 2 single crochets into the next. And you want to repeat that all the way around, and when you get back around you should have a total of 48 stitches at the end of round 24. Okay, I've made it around at the end of round 24. Move my stitch marker up, and now for round 25 it's just 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around, and you should have a total, you should still have a total of 48 stitches when you make it back around back to your stitch marker. Okay, once you make it round to the end of round 25, now we're going to be doing increases, and we're not going to be putting rows of single crochet in between them right now. So we're going to move our stitch marker up. And for round 26, we're going to start off by putting 2 single crochets into the very first stitch. Like that. And now we're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 7 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's the repeat now. 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and 1 single crochet into the next 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you start again with 2 single crochets in the next, and 1 single crochet into the next 7, all the way back around to your stitch marker. And you make it back around, you should have 54 single crochets. Okay, when you make it back around, you should not have ended in 2 single crochets in the same stitch like we did previously when we were increasing. You should have did 2 single crochets over here, and then you should have 7 single crochets left. We just did it opposite that time, and we're going to do it opposite every row. That way it's becomes a little rounder here, and it don't start always increasing at the same spot, and then it starts to look like straight, like an octagon kind of, if you know what I mean. But once you get to going a little bit more, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So for round 26, we just made it to the end here, and you want to pull your stitch marker up, and you should have 54 stitches. Now this time we're going to put 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now the next stitch you'll get 2 single crochets, and that's a repeat now this time around. 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 2 single crochets into the next. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around. 1 single crochet in the next 8, and then 2 single crochets into the next 1. And when you get back around, you should have a total of 60 stitches at the end of round 27. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 27, and this time you should have ended with 2 single crochets into that last stitch, and you'll have 60 stitches. You want to move your stitch marker up. Round 28, we're going to start off with putting 2 single crochets into the very first stitch. And then 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now it's 2 single crochets into the next stitch. There's 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 9. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 2 single crochets into the next, and 1 single crochet into the next 9. And you want to repeat that all the way around. And when you get back around, you should have a total of 66 stitches at the end of round 28. Okay, I made it to the end of round 28, and I have 66 stitches, and you should not have ended into double crochets that time. You should have did there 2 double crochets back here, and then you should have had 9 single crochets in a row. Now for round 29, we're going to go back to putting 1 single crochet in every stitch after a few rounds. So round 29 is 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around until you get back to the beginning. And when you get back to the beginning, you should have 66 stitches still. So I'm going to continue working until I get back all the way back around. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 29 after doing 1 single crochet in every stitch, and I have 66 stitches, so I'm going to move my stitch marker up. And now what I'm going to do is put 1 single crochet into the first 10 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I'm going to put 2 single crochets into the next, and that is the repeat. 1 single crochet into the next 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 2 single crochets into the next. And you want to repeat this all the way back around to your stitch marker, and when you get back around you should have a total of 72 stitches at the end of row or round 30. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 30 and I have 72 stitches, so what I'm going to do is move my stitch marker up, and now for round 31 it's going to be 1 single crochet in every stitch now. So 1 single crochet every stitch around until I get back to my stitch marker, and when I get back to my stitch marker I still should have a total of 72 stitches at the end of round 31. Okay, I made it back around at the end of round 31. I'm going to move my stitch marker up and I'm just going to repeat round 31 again. I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch, just like I did the round before. So round 32 is just a repeat of round 31. 1 single crochet in every stitch. And when you get back around, you should have a total of 72 stitches still. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 32, so I'm going to pull my stitch marker up. And now what I'm going to do is put 1 single crochet into the first 11 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and then 2 single crochets into the next. So that is a repeat this time around. 1 single crochet into the next 11, and then 2 single crochets into the next. 1 single crochet into the next 11, and then 2 single crochets into the next. And you repeat that until you get back to your stitch marker. And when you make it back to your stitch marker, you should have a total of 78 stitches at the end of round 33. Okay, I've come to the end of round 33. I'm going to move my stitch marker up. I have 78 stitches. Now for round 34 and 35, it's 1 single crochet in every stitch. So 2 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch. So right now we're working on round 34. 1 single crochet in every stitch, and when you make it back to your stitch marker, you should have 78 stitches. Move your stitch marker up, and for round 35, 1 single crochet in every stitch, back to the stitch marker, and you still should have 78 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and complete those 2 rounds real quick. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 35, and I have my 78 stitches. Now what I'm going to do is move my stitch marker up. I'm going to do increase one more time. So I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the next 12 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then 2 single crochets into the next. So that's a repeat this time around. 1 single crochet into the next 12, and then 2 single crochet in the next. And you just repeat that all the way around, and you should have a total of 84 stitches at the end of round 36 when you get back here to the stitch marker. Okay, I made it back around at the end of round 36. I have 84 stitches. Move my stitch marker up. Now I'm just going to do one round of 1 single crochet in every stitch. So this is round 37. 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around until you get back to the beginning. And this is going to be the last round before we put our edge on. So 1 single crochet in every stitch, and when you get back to the beginning, you still should have 84 single crochet. Okay, I made it to the end of round 37, and I have 84 stitches. Now what I'm going to do is just slip stitch right here into the next stitch where my stitch marker is. So just slip stitch right into that, like that, and I'm going to take my stitch marker out. Now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work like that. Now I'm going to go right back into that same stitch that I slip stitched into right down here and put 1 single crochet. And now I'm going to skip 2 stitches. Make sure you pull this back and you're skipping this first stitch here. So skip, skip, and in the next stitch I'm going to put 5 double crochets, so that's going to be a shell. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and I'm going to put 1 single crochet into the next. And that's kind of the repeat now. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and put a shell, 5 double crochets into the next. Skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and single crochet into the next. The reason why we turned our work is so it puts the good side of the shells kind of facing, like when you put stuff in it, you'll be able to see the good side of the shells. So again, we skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and shell into the next. So 5 doubles. Well, there we go. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, single crochet into the next. So I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around. I'll skip 2 and shell, skip 2 and single crochet, skip 2 and shell, skip 2 and single, all the way back around to the beginning. Okay, once you make it back to the beginning, you should have 2 stitches left to skip. I know it looks like there might be 3 there, but if you look at this one, it's actually the one we started in. So here's 1, 2, this one's already been worked. So skip these 2 and slip stitch into the first single crochet. Not the chain 1, but the first single crochet. And then we can tie that off, hide the tails, and then you can kind of decorate it any way that you want. And if you want to use fabric spray to make it stand up better, and that's fine, you can do that. See, these kind of, let me pull my camera back a little bit. These kind of flip up a little bit, so that's the front. And what I'll probably do is stuff the bottom part with a little bit of yarn, and then I'll probably spray fabric spray on it so it stands up, and then I'll put some flowers and pumpkins and stuff in it just for decoration, or you can decorate it however you want. But that's it. That's all there is to it. That's what it kind of looks like flat. But yeah, I get some spray starch, some fabric spray, give it a spray, make sure these stay flipped up how you want them, and then yeah, I'll stuff the bottom with yarn mini pumpkins and gourds to put in mine. It's some fake flowers just for decoration. So I'll go ahead and get that all fixed up, and then I'll put a picture of it at the end. But that's it. Don't forget to check out all my tutorials. I have a whole bunch of them. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, please, and check me out on Facebook and Instagram. I'll put links to all that stuff below, and also you can find a link to the written pattern to this below too. And until next time, have a good day.